Welcome to the InFlow podcast. I am your host, Michelle Bosch. I see a gaping hole across society that focuses on the outer work and forgets about the inner work, when what we really need is to bridge the gap between prosperity and spirituality to live a life in flow, with inflows of light, inflows of cash, inflows of creativity, inflows of grace in our lives. Each week, join me for powerful messages and interviews that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow in your higher work. So now, let's go. Welcome to the InFlow podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch, coming to you today on actually the summer solstice. Today is June 21st. Today is the longest day of the year. In case you're completely checked out of that because your life is busy, I am here to remind you there's a beautiful natural rhythm out there happening with us going around the sun, and we are at the longest day of the year, and we can forget about those natural rhythms because our lives are busy, because our lives are crazy, and that means that we are about to end the second quarter of 2021. And I hope that you have made the most out of this first half of the year. And I'm here to help us prepare, and plan your next 90-day sprint for Q3 of 2021 to make it count so that you can grow in leadership, you can grow in finances, you can grow in personal relationships, in your ability to be an amazing parent, in an ability to be an amazing friend, and so on and so forth. And here we go, and let's get started. So the very first thing that I do is usually the week prior, which this would be the week prior to the beginning of the new quarter, which starts next week, July 1st, would be for me to sit down and start, blocking some time in my calendar, about a couple hour time block to go and reflect on the last 90 days and look at the accomplishments, look at some of the goals that I had set. Where did I come in as far as actuals, whether it be numbers, revenue, profit, number of deals, hiring, delegations, whatever it may have been, and see where I'm at. Where do I compare to what I had, forecasted, or what I had thrown out there as a goal? And that's the number one thing that I look at. And then I start looking at, okay, so either I came short on certain things, or I over exceeded on certain things, or I did not get to do certain things at all. And my very first thing is I always, in order to put more, or to be able to fill up your cup with more, you first need to empty it, right? That is, like, I think a very timeless principle and saying out there, that in order for your cup to be filled, it needs to be empty to begin with. So the very first thing that I like to do when I'm preparing for a 90-day sprint is like, okay, what do I need to stop doing? What needs to go into my stop doing list, which is usually things that I'm doing right now in the present that I can either potentially delegate because they're important, but they are not as important such that I should continue having them on my plate. They might not be in my genius to continue having them. Maybe that's why they continue being on my plate. Maybe I haven't taken the time to train someone perfectly, or have the time and dedication to actually get them off my plate. So there's all the very first things that I look at are, what are things that I'm going to be, I'm going to stop doing that are busy movement right now, or that I could have and empower somebody on my team to take over from me, so that those things actually get done. So they're usually things about the present, the very first thing that I look at. The second thing that I look at is, okay, what are some things that we did right now in the past that yield the results that we got, whether those are good or bad, but that created quite a bit of messes? And what kind of cleanup do I need to do in order for us to start right now, Q3 of 2021, with a clean slate, with like a clean desk, with a clean blank page, and we can move forward. And what you're going to find is that messes are usually about the past. So we looked at our present, by using a stop doing list. and delegation, as a source of kind of opening up space for our schedule and for our 90-day plan right now for Q3. And then the second thing that I look at is what are things that happened in the past, messes that either, were the result of us blowing over a target in a goal and really exceeding it, but we made messes in the process, because there's no way on this earth that you're not going to accomplish something and that some mess is going to come out, something that was unexpected, that you did not anticipate, where you basically fail forward. You made money, but you made some messes that need to now be tightened up. Yeah. So that's the second thing that you look at. And you go and use this week or the next few days before the Q3 starts and clean some of those up. And a lot of the cleanup, you're going to see that it goes hand in hand with delegation, with the first step. And then the third thing that I like looking at is, okay, once I've looked at the things that I'm going to stop doing, the messes that need to be cleaned up, and having a plan for how to clean those up, the next thing that I like looking at is the future. I'm always looking at the future, because as leaders of our business, whether it's you being the CEO of your land business, or me, whatever it is, if you are the leader of your business, it is your job to be a time traveler, to be always looking at what is coming, in the future, and anticipating the future, and basically seeing what is out there and coming back to the present and helping your team implement and execute on something that you saw in the future. That is our job as an entrepreneurial leader, is to be a time traveler and to be a visionary and bring those vision back and explain to our team of the things that we saw. What are the things that are significant, that are important, and what is a strategy to use in order for us to accomplish what we need to accomplish to get to that vision, to get to that goal. Yeah. So that's number 3. And with that, more than often, things about the future will always involve you gaining capability, you gaining skill sets that are going to help you master something that you want to accomplish in the future. The future is about things where we're going to have to go into uncharted territory, possibly, and take some risks and be uncomfortable and, feel that discomfort and feel the fear that comes with that discomfort, and take action anyways, and muster the courage and move forward in faith anyway. Those things about the future are usually that. So some of the things that I look at are okay, in that vision that I'm having about the next 90 days, what help? Who do I need help with? Because more than likely, anything that you want to learn, anything that you have a problem, an obstacle, a challenge, there is a who right now in this moment that has had that challenge before and that you can tap into. So for me, I recognize that there's 2 things that we would like to basically improve upon and continue really sharpening our axe. It's like, or iron sharpening iron. Where can I find a great person that is going to help me with getting even better at qualifying leads and qualifying prospects, whether they be from organic lead gen or from paid traffic, and to bring them to a situation where I've qualified them and brought them into a sales conversation to sell them a piece of land. Because let's be frank, a lot of the reasons why a lot of people don't sell their land or are having trouble selling their land might be because they or the team underneath them that they're trying to lead does not have the skill set, does not have the business acumen on how to, or the training to be, for that matter, on how to qualify somebody that says, is this piece of land still available? What are you going to say? Are you going to say just yes? Or how are you going to conduct that conversation on DM or on text such that you can continue asking open-ended questions to get that person to a point very, very quickly where they feel comfortable with you, that you've created enough reciprocity so that they want to get on the phone with you and talk about the piece of land, because then you have the opportunity to actually build relationship and build rapport with that potential buyer that is going to bring either a down payment or the full cash payment that you're looking to get on your land, and is actually going to come to the closing table and, with an earnest deposit if necessary, and not gonna bail out on the day of closing where your deal is going to, fall apart like a taco. So every single time when I'm doing, my 90-day sprint planning for the following, 90 days for the following quarter, I'm looking at what are some business skills. So for us, we identified that I needed a little bit more sales training in order, to train my team on how to do that best. I also went ahead and hired a coach. I want to improve my on-camera presence. I already had 2 sessions with her, and boy, has it made a difference in my ability to actually, deliver and go straight to the point and not, tell all kinds of stories, which for all of you that have been listening, to me for I don't know how many years now, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm not a polished speaker. It's my very first time actually getting on camera training on how to communicate a message or a simple lesson or a simple story or something that I know will be of value and it's going to help you, in your land business or in any entrepreneurial journey or venture that you have going on. So that's for me. I'm looking at what events I'm going to attend, in July. Actually, in July, we're going to do quite a bit of play. We're going to be in Maui for the entire month of July, but not entirely play. There's going to be a little bit of work. I also already looked out into, okay, what kind of events am I going to attend in August? What kind of events am I going to attend in September? And where I'm going to have this continuous, growth and education and continuous journey of mastery to learn timeless business principles, that no matter what's happening in the economy, no matter what platform is the one that is, that is working, that I will continue to be able to flip land and sell land without any hiccups. And to be frank, then turn around and pass that information over to you guys and share it with you guys. So that's the beauty of it, of having or being in a community where, I take pride in being a student of a great life versus a king of a mediocre one. And where I am always on this ongoing quest for learning more, for becoming more, for really mastering new skill set. It excites me. I'm a person that has a big pioneering spirit, I think, because I know that the result of what my business is right now is a result of times in the past where I have been courageous, where I have made decisions that have required courage. But just because I made those decisions in the past and I have a business today doesn't mean that I'm a leader today. I'm only a leader today if I'm time traveling for my team, if I'm time traveling for my family, because it could be that your team is your family, that you have your daughters or your sons that are helping you in your land business or whatever it is, that you do, if it's a family business. But you are basically that time traveler that is going out there into the future, learning and knows and recognizes that there's going to be new skill set, new things that you're going to have to learn, new risks, new bigger ideas, paradigm shifts, possibilities for you and your business and your family. And that it's going to require that you constantly then muster that courage to continue growing in your leadership, in your ability to provide for your family, in your ability to continue breaking barriers and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Because for me, there's no bigger sense of freedom than that feeling, that inner feeling of knowing that magic is possible at any moment. Whether it be right now in the present or in the future, because I'm actively seeking it, because I'm actively looking for it, because I know I can do it, because I know others have done it, before me. And that's probably the only place in which I think comparison is a good thing. It can be a bad thing when you're comparing yourself, someone's, year 10 to someone's year 1. That is not a good comparison because it might actually demotivate you. But when you compare yourself to others that have gone before you and use them as a source of inspiration, that's when it's the only place where comparison is a good thing. In any case, this is a little bit of a deviation from our main topic, but basically that's what I wanted to to talk to you guys about, is that we need to continue exhibiting, having the courage to go out there in uncharted territory and take risks without any guarantee of success, continuously innovate, things will continuously change. And that if you're looking for the latest tactic, that yes, those latest tactics are good to know, to understand, to be able to implement, to be able to execute. But underneath all of those tactics, the most important thing is, can you really create connection, human connection, and the timeless business principle of a relationship with your seller, where you're being of service to your seller, in a relationship where you're being of service to your buyer? And do you have the timeless business principle skill of being able to negotiate and have the creativity to restructure deals as things change, as the terrain shifts, as things come up during a closing of a deal? Yeah. And so if you are all about being in that state of always wanting mastery, of always looking and recognizing that the business that I have today is only there because of the risks and the courage and the skills that I have acquired up until that moment, but that I am not a leader just because I have that business today, but I'm a leader because I am going to continue to look out into the future and be a time traveler and continue go into the future and assess, okay, what are the skills that I'm going to need right now, between right now and that time in the future, in order for me to continue reaping bigger levels of growth, up leveling mentally, physically, emotionally, as a person that can bring on a team that is all in on you, and while still being an amazing parent, while still cultivating a relationship with your teenagers or your little children, or while still maintaining an amazing love relationship with your husband, especially if you guys work together. I happen to be in a situation where we both work together, and it's definitely a challenge, and it's an ongoing thing of innovating, of how can we continue to make this relationship even more rich, deeper, nurturing it as we go, as we work together in our businesses, in our life dreams, in our life plans, and continue growing. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. And if you are ready to continue on your mastery, if you're already doing deals, if you would like to learn more about what this land flipping thing is, you are very welcome to go ahead and check us out at landcoaching.com, and just book a call with one of our team members. They're here to really understand what your goals are, where you're at in your land flipping business. Are you having problems on the acquisition side, and how do we fix them? Are you having problems on the selling side? Are you having problems in the scaling side? Are you really having problems from a mindset, from a confidence perspective? In any case, whether you are a fit for our coaching program or not, those 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever that call might take, could really mean a tremendous paradigm shift for you and your business, and allow you to really bring your business forward in that 90-day cycle. Yeah. So don't be shy. Go ahead and book a call, landcoaching.com. We would love to hear from you. And I'm excited if you want to share with me what are some of your plans for play, planning, and producing for the next 90 days. Are you doing any play? What are your plans? What are some of the strategies or the strategic moves that you're going to be making that are going to bring your business forward? And what are the actual production goals that you have? What are the things that you're actually doing day in and day out, consistently, predictably, so that you can predictably have actual cash, checks, and wires coming in from land profits? Because if you're not even sending out mailings, if you're not even sending out offers consistently, if you're not consistently sending out neighbor letters, if you're not consistent across all marketing channels, marketing your properties, actually following up, having a system for follow-up, if you're not even in the game, how in the world are you going to see the results? part of seeing results is being in the game. Part of being in the game is doing those daily things, maybe 15, 20, 30 actions, whether it be 30 actions of offers or 30 actions of, identifying new counties or 30 actions of, preparing a listing. What are those 30, 50 actions that are the same that you're doing over and over again, that you're mastering in order to get your business to the next level? That is being in the game. If you're not doing that consistently, day in and day out, you're not even in the game. Yeah. You're having a business that is sporadic, that is a hobby, that is entertainment. But if we're going to treat this as a business, you need to be in the game. So part of being in the game is planning your 90 days upcoming, being a time traveler for your business, for your family, and really constantly understanding that in order to build a bigger income in the future, in the next 90 days, it's going to require that you again take risks, that you again have courage, that you again take action, and courage will equal freedom. Every single day, if you're making uncomfortable decisions, I am telling you, there's bigger and bigger and bigger levels of freedom there available for you. And I so want them for you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. It has been a pleasure. And I look forward to another episode with us together. If you enjoyed today's podcast episode, please go ahead and give us a review, a 5-star review, share it with a friend, share with someone that needs to hear this message. And thank you so much. And I look forward to spending time with you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash, inflows of light, and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.